just run away or climb the nearest tree. I long to tell you your lips look kissable. Would I be bold to say they're irresistible? Although it's forward to mention romance.
Project Management. Lecture 4. Quality assurance is a term used to incorporate the quality policy, quality management, and quality control functions. In this chapter, we will look at a number of well-established approaches, how quality gets measured, and what are the challenges, especially related to software quality. Quality management is important throughout the organization. In the highest level is the organization quality manuals and critical procedures manuals, and it could include procedures, guidelines and work instructions classified under divisional, functional, and corporate level. They should all follow the organization policy and objectives. Software quality is usually measured on products delivered. The objective of quality assurance is to give the customer what he needs on time, every time, and at the right time. A great deal of effort goes into getting the process right. What is meant by getting the process right? There are many quality management approaches that will be highlighted here. Quality circles is based on those 5 ways. Firstly, there have informal groups across functional or normal working boundaries. Moreover, all staff treated equally, regardless of rank. In that sense, a manager is treated the same as a technician. Then, looking for ideas for small or big changes that could be made to overcome problems, improve efficiency, quality of working life. Also, reward system for worthwhile suggestions if they work out. There could be dollar-based or special reward. Finally, employee takes the ownership of the quality ideal. Another quality approach is TQM, which stands for Total Quality Management. The following characterize the TQM approach. Quality culture is established throughout the organization. TQM must come from, and be championed from, the top. Training, awareness, sessions are cascaded down. Essentially, it affects all aspects of the way the organization does business. Like all change, it takes time to embed TQM in working practice. It is expensive initially, but can pay back in time, if metrics employed, that is, with proper deployment and measurement, may involve the introduction of visible performance targets. For example, charts and graphs appear over walls are down team, productivity, customers' complaints, turnaround time, etc. One way for achieving quality objective is the use of quality walkthroughs, which involves inspection of work in progress. Inspection of work in progress works refers to any piece of work not yet completed. It essentially acts as a vehicle for coaching or staff development. It comes with demonstration of best practice and quality control. With this approach, a leader with small team, on neutral ground, goes through the work in detail. This could be a third party, or from a quality assurance division. The work in progress might be a report, a plan, a requirements definition, a program, a test plan, or just about anything. But, if too big, then may need to be broken into smaller segments. Remember the following rules in running walkthroughs. Firstly, build up a supportive and non-controversial environment. Secondly, you find fault with the product, not the person. Thirdly, ask questions or raise queries, rather than shout, rubbish. And finally, focus on the aspects causing concern, or the owner's needs clarification on. That is, no finger pointing, and only problem or solution seeking. In software quality assurance, this walkthrough might have been called by IT group because of conflicting user requirements, and you need to get agreement from various parties involved. Also, you might want to take these advices in participation of quality walkthroughs. Be guided by the owner. They may have asked for the walkthrough to resolve conflict or clarify ideas, etc. Don't let the owner away with hiding difficult aspects of the work. If it's your work, don't get defensive or devote lots of energy to making excuses. Document all issues arising. Don't expect to solve all problems there and then. Can be very effective if the organization culture is right. It is difficult in environments where staff are encouraged to compete rather than collaborate. Many companies have turned to process improvement as a way of enhancing the quality of their software, reducing costs, or accelerating their product development processes. Process improvement, as a quality approach, is about understanding existing processes and changing these processes to improve product quality and/or reduce costs and development time. What should we focus on? First, improve processes to improve product quality. For example, to reduce the number of defects in delivered software. Then schedule or cost reduction might become the principal improvement goals. Process improvement and software quality usually go hand in hand. When one is enhanced, then the other works better. There is a strong relationship between the quality of the developed software product and the quality of the software process used to create that product. Conversely, by improving the software process, it is hoped that the related product quality is correspondingly enhanced. Like products, processes also have attributes or characteristics. There have 1 minute to think about this question. Take an example from your work. What type of process characteristics that would impact on quality of products or services? This table summarizes some key process improvement characteristics. First, understandability. This requires simplicity of process definition. Second, visibility. That means external visibility of process. Third, supportability. That means supportability by case tools. Fourth, acceptability. That means do the software engineers accept the process? Fifth, reliability. That means process designed to trap errors before those errors reach the product. Sixth, robustness. This refers to process continues in spite of unexpected problems. The shows go on. Seventh, maintainability. That means process can evolve and can be maintained, adapted to reflect changing organizational requirements or process improvements. Eighth, rapidity. That means speed of delivery. The above need to be built into your process improvement quality design. Usually, it's not possible to make process improvements that optimize, or better, all process attributes simultaneously. Certain trade-offs need to be made. For example, if a rapid development process is required, then it may be necessary to reduce the process visibility. Making a process visible means producing documents at regular intervals, which will slow down the process. Which is the more important in your work environment? Certain judgments need to be made. The following are some hard facts, or the part of the doctrines, or commandments about process improvement. Process improvement is a long-term, iterative process. Each of the activities shown might last several months. Successful process improvement requires organizational commitment and resources. It must be sanctioned by senior management and must have an associated budget to support improvements. It is impractical to introduce too many changes at the same time. Training is required and difficult to measure the impact. The process improvement process is unique to every organization, however it usually follows a similar pattern. You may not like some of them, but you need to take care and cater for them. The diagram shows a generic process improvement process from following steps. First of all, you start to analyze the process. Next, identify the improvements needed. Then, make process change. Moreover, introduce training to staff concerned with the process change. Finally, tune process changes to make change really fit and work to objectives. Look at the output of each stage and the interrelation. Prepare to take an example and walk through with the above. What could happen gone wrong, or potential problem to apply the process? Now, we have 2 minutes to think about this question. What could happen gone wrong, or what are the potential problems to apply the process? The tips are: look at the output of each stage and the interrelation. Also, prepare to take an example and walk through with the above. After this slide, take a break to refresh. Then we will come back. product quality is usually closely linked to the process development or manufacturing of a product. Process improvement is based on the assumption that the critical factor and influences product quality is the quality of the product development process. These ideas of process improvement stemmed from the work of an American engineer called W. E. Deming, who worked with Japanese industry after World War II to improve quality. Japanese industry has been committed to a process of continuous process improvement for many years. This has largely contributed to the general high quality of Japanese manufactured goods. Deming and others introduced the idea of statistical quality control. This is based on measuring the number of product defects and relating these defects to the process. The process is improved with the aim of reducing the number of product defects. The process is continually improved until the results of the process are predictable and the number of defects reduced. It is then standardized, and a further improvement cycle begins. For software products, there are 4 key factors that can affect product quality: development technology, process quality, people quality, cost and delivery schedule. Together, they form the product quality rectangle. Please note, the bottom of the rectangle actually provide the resources that are cost and time to the project. Take a product and process that you are familiar with, and look at the quality rectangle. Compare and contrast each of them with the others. You could use the deployment of a third-party software, or the development of an in-house program. Now, put down some notes about your quality rectangle and prepare to discuss. The base of the product quality rectangle is absolutely critical. If a project, irrespective of size, is under-budgeted, or planned with an unrealistic delivery schedule, the product quality will be affected. A good process requires resources for its effective implementation. If these resources are insufficient, the process cannot work effectively. If resources are inadequate, only excellent project manager can save a project. Even then, if the deficit is too great, the product quality will be degraded. So don't underestimate the time, man-hours, computing resources etc. there are required. Why those problems such as under-budget repeatedly happen? All too often, the real cause of software quality problems is not poor management, inadequate processes or poor quality training. It is the fact that organizations must compete to survive. Many software projects are deliberately under-budgeted in order to win a development contract. Pricing to win is an inevitable consequence of a competitive system. It's not surprising that product quality under such a system is difficult to control. The dilemma as a project manager: how would you deal with such situations, which could happen every day? As we mentioned before, the process and the product quality go hand in hand. Then, how to measure a process's quality? Here are the two key concepts. Firstly, process measurements are quantitative data about the software process. It is essentially numerical based. Secondly, process metrics, on the other hand, tells the project owners how the project is going. It provides the right indicator about your heartbeat, whether your blood sugar range is right to the target. Process metrics, in their own right, can be used to assess whether or not the efficiency of a process has been improved. For example, the effort and time devoted to testing can be monitored. Effective improvements to the testing process should reduce the effort, testing time, or both. However, lacking a proper metrics, process measurements on their own cannot be used to determine if product quality has improved. Product metrics must also be collected and related to the process activities. Before we move on, think of similar instances that those problems occurred to you. How would you have avoided or handle them as a project manager? Let's talk about the three classes of metric that are relevant for process measurement. Firstly, the time taken for a particular process to be completed. This can be the total time devoted to the process, calendar time, the time spent on the process by particular engineers, etc. Secondly, the resources required for a particular process. The resources might be total effort, in-person days, travel costs, computer resources, etc. The measured values from these two types of metric may be used to suggest areas where the process might be improved. After changes have been introduced, measurements of system attributes can show if the process changes have actually been beneficial. Thirdly, the number of occurrences of a particular event. For examples, include the number of defects discovered during code inspection, the number of requirements changes requested, the average number of lines of code modified in response to a requirements change, etc. The third metric can have a more direct bearing on software quality, for example, increasing the number of defects discovered. By changing the program inspection process will probably be reflected in improved product quality. However, this has to be confirmed by subsequent product measurements. Let's talk about an approach to process measurement called GQM is the work of Basile and Rombach. The fundamental difficulty in process measurement is knowing what to measure. Basile and Rombach have proposed what they call the GQM, stand for Goal Question Metric Paradigm. This is used to help decide what measurements should be taken, and how they should be used. This approach relies on the identification of goals. What the organization is trying to achieve? Examples of goals might be improved programmer productivity, shorter product development time, increased product reliability, etc. After goal, then we will talk about questions. Questions are refinements of goals, where specific areas of uncertainty related to the goals are identified. For example, how can shorter development time be achieved? How will then the quality be impacted, etc. Normally and naturally, after we confirm our goal, then we will have a number of associated questions, which need to be answered. How can the number of debugged lines of code be increased? How can the time required to finalize product requirements be reduced? How can more effective reliability assessments be made? Finally, what is the GQM metrics? These are the measurements that need to be collected to help answer the questions, and to confirm whether or not process improvements have achieved the desired goal. In the examples, measurements which might be made include the productivity of individual programmers and lines of code, the number of formal communications between client and contractor for each requirements change, and the number of tests required to cause product failure. By now, you should have a clear picture about measurement and metrics, and how they apply. What do you think about the advantages of GQM? The advantage of the GQM approach, applied to process improvement, is that it separates organizational concerns from specific process concerns. It focuses data collection and suggests that collected data should be analyzed in different ways depending on the question it is intended to answer. Basile and Green describe how this approach has been used in the long-term, measurement-based process improvement program. Let's go through an example using GQM. Construct a GQM tree, which could be used to identify metrics to be collected and measured, to evaluate the impact of implementing a new software system in a library, given the aims of the new software. Firstly, to increase customer satisfaction. Secondly, to reduce the amount of staff time spent on the system. Finally, to increase library use by the public. For these goals, let's list out the questions and their associated metrics. On the goal of increasing customer satisfaction. What is the current level of customer satisfaction? Average satisfaction rating on questionnaire. Lowest rating of customer satisfaction on questionnaire. Highest rating of customer satisfaction on questionnaire. Number of customer complaints per unit time. What is the post-implementation customer satisfaction? Average satisfaction rating on questionnaire. Lowest rating of customer satisfaction on questionnaire. Highest rating of customer satisfaction on questionnaire. Number of customer complaints per unit time. Can you think of further metrics or questions? On the goal of reduced staff time. Cost pre-implementation. Payroll cost, pre-implementation. Cost post-implementation. Payroll cost, post-implementation. On the goal of increase library use by the public. Usage pre-implementation. Borrowed books per unit time, before implementation. Usage post-implementation. Borrowed books per unit time, after implementation. Quality activities and costs varies, in terms of rigor and cost, from self-checking, peer review, management review, external review to walkthrough. Very often there comes a trade-off, when it is cheaper to accept and repair an almost perfect product than it is to accept the costs of striving for perfection. Frequently, we hear the term quality certification. This is the accreditation of an organization's process, or processes, by an external body, in relation to a quality standard. Accreditation is growing big in its influence, and become a standard in many, or most government purchases. In your self-study, you will research, and explore various software quality standards, and find out what they are, who they are, and how they work. Let's summarize this lecture session. Quality walkthroughs may be general or for a specific purpose. The more rigorous the quality process, the more effective it is, but the costs are also higher. The quality of products and the quality of process are two different concepts. Metrics can help evaluate process and product quality improvements. Now, think and challenge. Firstly, think of 1 to 2 questions for each bullet listed above. Secondly, imagine you have to apply them into certain project situations. How and what are the limitations? You have 2 minutes to think about both questions. Quality management is not a simple concept that you can adopt and apply. It needs further in-depth reading, attitude change. Complete the think and challenge, and prepare to discuss. Raise your questions online, or in the class. Please feel free to post any questions, include how to improve the teaching, on our chat system.
If I should tell you you're beautiful to me, would you just run away or climb the nearest tree? I long to tell you your lips look kissable. Would I be bold to say they're irresistible? irresistible. Although it's forward to mention romance. If I...
This online learning material is brought to you by ABRS, your best learning partner.